with is Copper Mountain College. They have a scholarship this year
Okay.
available to school senior.
So, is this for the Flying Doctors or is this
This
something
is for
else?
the Copper Mountain College.
Okay.
The high school seniors have a full ride scholarship, 4 years, and they talk better. And this year, I think the next 5 people get $10,000 towards.
Okay, because I'll get this information out to our people. I'm assuming the QR code has all the details of the qualifications to apply then, right? Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Yeah, because, yeah, Danny's now the mayor, Octavius is pro tem, and then everybody else moves in council position. Yeah. Yeah, so April's on the opposite side now. She was over where Matt is right now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2026. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Anna is going to lead us.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have an invocation, if you'd like to stand, by Amy from First Assembly of God Church.
Yes, let's pray. Dear Lord, as we gather here today, we reflect on the journey we've taken as a community through 2025, through the past struggles, trials, and literal storms. We've stood together, united in purpose and spirit. As we look toward the future of our beloved community, we ask for your grace, health, and favor to guide us. May we continue to be a united people, recognizing that through our beliefs and opinions, though they may be different, it is our shared humanity that binds us together. May we choose to be better instead of bitter, to embrace gratitude over griping, and to accommodate rather than argue. May these choices shape us, forging deeper connections among neighbors and friends. Lord, strengthen our resolve to walk hand in hand, fostering peace and understanding as we build a brighter tomorrow. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Oh, I looked down, didn't look up. Yes, roll call, please.
Councilmember Belderrain.
Here.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Councilwoman Ramirez. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Scott.
Here.
Mayor Mitz.
Here.
All present.
Closed session announcements, we have nothing to disclose. We do have a change in the agenda. It is going to be, oh wait, where's my paper at? I have to abstain from item 12, so I've just found out from the lawyer, I have to also abstain from number 15. So we're moving, number 15 is gonna go after number 12, right? Yeah, and after the public hearing, and then I'll be back. Obviously, there's a conflict on the project Freedom Plaza, because my wife owns a shop there, and the other one is because I own a business in Twentynine Palms, and it could affect my business. So I can't vote on those. All right, so we are to announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of Twentynine Palms website, www.twentyninepalms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going to the website and clicking on meeting agenda link. First presentation is to the Twentynine Palms softball team, the Twentynine Palms high school basketball teams. So Mayor Pro Tem, if you meet the softball team at the podium, please.
Thank you very much for coming out there in the community. Tell us a little bit about where you picked up trash at.
We picked up trash at Buena Vista. We picked up about like 2 lots of trash that can fill up like a big trash can.
Perfect. Any ladies like to say anything? No. A little shy. So we have 1 check from the City of Twentynine Palms and 1 check for Burtech. And this goes to the team. So here you go. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Oh, I just want to give a shout out to that young lady sitting in the audience there. She's an alumni, and she actually helped pick up trash that day. So thank you, Haley. You can see she's turning red right now. Stevie, you gonna get that check? The basketball, yeah. It's for the basketball team. Huh? Yeah. Okay, and the other one, the next set of checks is for the Twentynine Palms High School basketball team. Councilmember Beldering will be accepting that. He has a player on that team, and he was obviously there picking up trash.
I can't remember where he picked up. Oh, man. I can't remember where they picked up. I'm sorry. They picked up a lot of trash. Oh, they picked up right across the street from Circle K on 62. The lot out there. There was about 14 bags, I believe. And they're playing right now, and they're winning. They're down in Hemet right now. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, once a year I remind everyone in the audience and in the public that these checks go right to ASB at the high school. None of the coaches' checks salaries are paid without that money from the city or from Burtech, and also volunteers don't get any of that money. It all goes to the TPHS ASB, and that's what the checks are made out to. I just want to remind everybody once a year that the coaches don't get any of that money, even though we're the ones picking up trash. So, all right. Awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations. Park and Rec Department, Haywood.
All right, good evening, Mayor and members of the council. I've been the Recreation Division Manager for 6 months now, approximately, overseeing a staff of 5 full-time employees. Tonight, I'd like to give you a quick snapshot of how the Parks and Recreation Department is currently serving our community. Before the holidays, we wrapped up our Youth Flag Football League with 166 participants, which was up from 112 in 2024. That increase was largely due to the addition of a new division for ages 13 through 15, which allowed us to serve an age group that previously did not have access to the flag football recreation program. At the conclusion of the season, we sent out a survey to parents and coaches, and this is something that we're going to do moving forward with all of our programming, just so we can better understand what's working well and identify areas of improvement. We don't do everything perfectly, so their input is necessary. The feedback indicated that the program is meeting community expectations and providing a quality experience for those participants. Currently, we are in full swing with our youth basketball program. You guys probably see them at the parks weeknights. So weeknight games are currently held at the junior high school beginning at 5:30 p.m. They run until about 8:30, with practices taking place at the community center and Lucky Park Monday through Thursdays. Games are also played on Saturdays at both the community center and the Twentynine Palms High School beginning at 9 a.m. Up until around 2, 3 in the afternoon. This program also serves as preparation for the 66th annual Youth Basketball Tournament, which will take place March 20th through the 22nd. So I've got extra whistles and jerseys. But if anything, if you guys want to get on the scores table, we would happy to have you. And then, you get entertained with some great games. Beyond youth sports, I'd like to highlight several other programs currently taking place. Beginning this year, we secured a new dance instructor. It's been years since we were able to offer dance or cheer, but we were able to find a great instructor who now offers tumbling tots for ages 2 to 6, rhythm and bop for ages 6 to 16, and meaningful movement for ages 16 and up. On Wednesday evenings at the Activity Center, it's filled with parents and babies participating in yoga playtime. The same instructor also offers prenatal yoga and yoga for all sessions, expanding access across multiple age groups and abilities. Looking ahead, we partnered again with the coach over at the high school for Junior Tennis Play Day. That will begin in March, along with another season of Girls on the Run. After receiving positive feedback, Legomation Science will return at the end of next month as well. And this Friday, we will welcome participants to the first session of our new Dungeons and Dragons Club. As we continue to evaluate community needs, staff is also exploring future partnerships and programming opportunities, including a year-round skateboard school, pickleball leagues, cheer, and adult 7-on-7 soccer. I wonder who put that on the... These efforts, I believe, align directly with the goals outlined in the city's strategic plan. Lastly, I want to briefly note that the department was also awarded 2 mini grants from the NRPA, the National Recreation and Parks Association. One of those grants, Walk with Ease, will begin soon and is designed to support healthy aging through recreation. NRPA has also selected our department to be featured in a podcast and an article highlighting our department, which is scheduled to be published in the February edition of the Parks and Recreation magazine of NRPA. I think these updates are a good reminder that alongside the challenges, there's a lot of positive, meaningful work going on throughout the city. So I appreciate the opportunity to share what Parks and Rec, aka the Fun Department, has been up to. And I'd also like to note that our 2026 program and activity guide is now available online through the city's website with printed copies as well. I put a stack on the table out there, and I've got 5 for you guys if you'd like them. So thank you.
Thank you, Haywood. Great update. All right, move on to council comments, reports, and meetings attended. We'll start with the Councilmember Beldering. He always had to go last.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let him go first.
It's been a while. All right, meetings attended. It's been a while, so Happy New Year to everybody. It's going back from our last meeting. Attended the base CG's holiday gathering, the mayor's toy handout. We were all there. Historical Plaza Christmas stroll. I had a couple of meetings with some possible business owners trying to come to 29 Palms and get some ideas, and a couple of toy handouts throughout the Christmas season. So, and that is all I have.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Ramirez.
Hi, Happy New Year, everyone. I also attended the Base General's holiday gathering. I myself, along with Ground Zero and America's Choice Real Estate, hosted our own toy giveaway. We gave away 3,500 toys to families in need, which was really nice, and it was really good to see our community come out, and thank you to all the sponsors who also gave. And then I also participated in a speaking engagement to help highlight the need for donations to domestic violence shelters during the holiday season.
Thank you. Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I attended the mayor's toy handout, but I had to leave a little early because we was playing flag football. And happy to say my son, his team came in first place. They went undefeated, so that's pretty good. And then also we got a chance to take one of the Warhawks football teams to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles to play a scrimmage game The kids were really excited and had a whole lot of fun. It was so amazing. The team that we scrimmaged against was the Barstow Aztecs, and it was so funny because they walked us down to the field, and all our kids, they were like past excited, you know, ran of course to the middle of the field. They was jumping around and everything, and Barstow, they just walked in, put their stuff down, lined up, and I was like, look, they acting like they been here before, you know. And so, but it was good for the kids. They really enjoyed it, and it was a great opportunity experience. And then we got to watch the Chargers and the Texans game, so it was fun. And that's all I got, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem? Scott?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I also attended the Commanding General's holiday reception, as well as the Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem toy giveaway, and the holiday stroll and light parade. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I forgot about the light. Yeah, I didn't even write the light parade on there. Yeah, tree lighting, light parade. I attended that. Also had a Mountain Desert Measure I meeting. We had a SBTCA meeting last week. Actually, it was, last Wednesday. I went to Yucca Valley and shopped with the cop. They do. They have the cops and the police show up, and the probation and the council members from Twentynine Palms showed up, and these two. And it was funny because they have to mention they invite everyone from other cities, but we're the only ones that show up. So that's a shout out to my buddy over at Merle. Was at the toy giveaway, and was also at the general's reception. So, I did stop by Saturday to the Rock Rumble. Met one of the rock climbers, Alex, very famous rock climbing ladies, very nice, and was well attended. There was a lot of people there, so that was it's a great event that's going on in our city. That obviously you don't see them because they're out there in the park climbing rocks, and then they come in Freedom Plaza, and they had a lot of vendors there and things like that. So it was a good it was a great turnout. Okay, and that's all I have for that. Okay, consent calendar. All matters under the consent calendar to be considered routine by the city council will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the city council. The public was be given an opportunity to comment on the consent calendar items prior to the city council action. All right. Does anybody have anything they want to pull from the consent calendar? From the council? Seeing none?
Mayor, did you want to recuse yourself or maybe exempt?
I will in just a moment.
Okay.
Thank you. And these are all on consent calendar? Okay, so item number 9 is going to be pulled by the public. Oops. Okay, yeah, that was the one we should have pulled. Okay, yes, we were pulling that also, so. But we'll give you a moment to comment. Okay, so I will be abstaining from item number 10 because it has to do with Freedom Plaza, the no parking. So I will abstain from that. So I have a motion on the other items besides number 9.
I moved the other items.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Ramirez?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Bilderrain?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott?
Aye.
Mayor Mintz?
I and abstain from number 10.
Abstain from
All
number 10.
right, we'll go to number 9. We got the City Council adopt the amended policy for waiver fees for facility rentals. So, you guys, you pulled it, so you guys can comment first. Yeah. Oh, on a stump, come on up. I'm like, yeah, just come on up, you know.
Good evening, Mayor and council members, and Happy New Year. I am concerned about fiscally sponsored nonprofits being disallowed from having 2 free rentals, and I would like to explain why fiscally sponsored nonprofits are very important to our city. I am specifically involved with 2 of them. Mojaveland, which is fiscally sponsored by AHA Projects, which is based in Los Angeles, but has board members from 29, and they have multiple projects in the Morongo Basin. And the 29 Palms Music Committee, which is fiscally sponsored by Basin-Wide Foundation, which is located in Yucca Valley, which also has members, board members from 29 Palms. And there are multiple reasons why young nonprofits might need a fiscal sponsorship. For example, in the case of the 29 Palms Music Committee, this is a temporary volunteer organization which is only going to exist for as long as the Levitt grant is running. And for us to have spent the money and the time to create a full 501c3 would be very onerous and not really very smart for us to do. It's a temporary situation. The Basin-Wide Foundation actually lends a lot of gravitas to our application, and the Basin-Wide Foundation is going to be overseeing the events. But it seems like if not fiscally sponsored nonprofits are not allowed to get those 2 free events, then we wouldn't be able to get, like everybody else, all the other the nonprofits, we wouldn't be able to rent the Plaza for free for 1 event or 2 events, depending. And another reason that fiscally sponsored nonprofits are important is, for example, Mojaveland, I really need the guidance and the accounting skills and the expertise in grant writing that my fiscal sponsor provides me. And it doesn't make sense for me to spend money that I could be spending on the public, on the families, on setting up my own nonprofit at this point. So I really hope that you will reconsider and allow fiscally sponsored nonprofits to have some, the 2 free rentals. One last thing that is concerning to me, which is the stage right now, the stage and the Plaza are separate rentals, which doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense that there could be 2 events happening at the same time on the stage and the Plaza. So that's a separate issue. But anyway, thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you. Cindy Bernard.
Hi, Happy New Year. I'm here speaking on behalf of Indian Cove Neighbors, and I'm going to read a few paragraphs from the letter that was the subject of today's closed session, I assume. It's to the city from our attorneys and was also submitted as public comment. For brevity, I have deleted numerous cases cited in letter supporting our position, and it's slightly edited. So starting some excerpts from this letter. The First Amendment prohibits the government from conditioning access to public facilities on whether a group's viewpoint aligns with the government. The city is not required to designate facilities for public use, but once it does, it cannot then condition access based on viewpoint. Denying fee waivers to citizens because they have sued the city is in effect punishment for exercising the constitutional right to petition the government for redress of grievances. A policy that selectively bars citizens from fee waivers just because they criticize the government is not only unlawful, but strikes at the core of the First Amendment. At the November 12th council meeting, the city erroneously took the position that the updated policy merely governs discretionary fee waivers and that the city may distribute waivers on whatever basis it so chooses. That position is incorrect as a matter of law. Even where the government has discretion to subsidize or waive fees or otherwise confer some benefit for access to public facilities, it may not exercise that discretion in a manner that discriminates on the basis of viewpoint or retaliate. In other words, goes at you because of your protected speech. Oh my gosh. Relatedly, the city's amended policy appears to categorically deny fee waivers to organizations that operate through fiscal sponsors, as Anna just spoke about. Although this issue does not arise to the level of a constitutional violation, it underscores the arbitrary manner in which the city has chosen to administer the policy. The city has previously recognized fiscal sponsorship as a legitimate organizational structure in other contexts, i.e. Mojaveland and AHA projects, yet now appears to disregard the same structure when administering access to public forums. This inconsistent treatment reinforces the absence of neutral, consistently applied standards in the city and heightens concern that the policy is being enforced selectively. For these reasons, neighbors respectfully request that the city promptly rescind or revise the challenge provision of this fee waiver policy to ensure that access to city facilities and fee waivers is administered in a viewpoint neutral manner consistent with the First Amendment. And obviously, not the letter now. Indian Cove Neighbors does not want to litigate with the city on this issue. We absolutely don't want to cost the city any money, but we cannot allow the city to penalize organizations for using their constitutional right to use the courts when residents believe that the city isn't acting in their best interests. And that's effectively what this policy does. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, nobody else from the pile. I got the only two slips I got, so we'll bring this back to council. One of the things that I really want to stress about this policy is to give staff direction on when someone can ask for a fee waiver. There is no provision in this says they cannot appeal to the city council. Anybody that says they have a great project and they want to bring it to the city council for a free fee waiver, you're more than, and it's free. We even left that part out. You didn't have to appeal. If staff says this doesn't meet the criteria that the city council has put forth as policy, we disagree with you and you want to appeal to the city council, it would cost you money. We put in the provision that it does not cost the nonprofit money. And I just want to stress that, we're not trying to alienate anyone. So, we have a revised policy that, city manager, would you like to go over what we revised?
I would be happy to. We've got copies of the revised policy in the lobby if any members of the public would like to review it. Essentially, one of the things that the city attorney clarified some language, and then also the city attorney removed the language in terms of if a organization is suing the city, there is no longer a prohibition to apply for the fee waiver if you are suing the city. I do think something that is important to point out is the fact that irrespective of a lawsuit, that organization can still pay to use the facility.
Mm-hmm.
The issue was really one of, is the city, if you're suing the city, is the city going to give you a fee waiver when you're in fact suing the city, right? But that information, that sentence has been struck from the new policy, and that is what the city attorney is recommending for council's adoption this evening.
Okay, so I guess, so we can clarify in Anna's case, as far as because that's for the benefit of the city, the music, when they do the music events downtown, then that's something that that's going to benefit the city, right? We're not trying to say that even though she's not the actual person, that I guess it would be the Morongo Basin Basin-wide Foundation, even though they're not in 29 Palms, or they're not the entity that's doing it, that they're I guess it's a subcommittee, really, I guess you'd call it. We're not talking about excluding them, correct?
Correct.
We're talking because it's a benefit of 29 Palms.
That is correct. And Mayor, one other thing too that I can offer the council is that there was a case or two where you had a for-profit organization. They created a partnership with a nonprofit entity from outside of the area, so the nonprofit could apply for the fee waiver for the for-profit event. And that's really what this is trying to address, is to ensure that someone does not come up with a creative workaround.
Right, because like in this music thing, they're not charging any fees, correct, to go to this, right? So there's no fees, so that's a benefit to 29 Palms. So, okay, so are we good with this language on the ordinance policy number 1? Okay, all right. Well, I need a motion.
I motion to accept ordinance policy number 1 for fee waivers.
Second.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Bildering,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ramirez,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott,
Aye.
Mayor Mintz.
All right.
Approved 5-0.
Okay, that takes care of the consent calendar. So this is now the public hearing, which is number 12. I have to abstain from, so I am going to leave the room. Turn it over to the Mayor Pro Tem. And number 15, which has to do with trash enclosures for Freedom Plaza item, I also have to step out.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a subject matter that the City Council has discussed before. Where this evolved is we've had several requests in the past for repeated special event permits in venues that may or may not be suitable for entertainment. We've had requests to add services and products to existing business operations that are not explicitly listed in the development code or that we're not explicitly approved for, and for shared workspaces. Since the development code isn't clear or silent, then this leads to interpretation issues. Currently, the development code does not address ancillary entertainment. That's the one I'm going to spend the most time on. However, live entertainment is listed as requiring an onerous and expensive land use permit. So what is before you defines what live entertainment is, it defines what ancillary live entertainment is, what a live entertainment venue is, and live entertainment special events. In order to get an ancillary entertainment license, these conditions must be followed. You need to know, each venue needs to know their maximum occupancy. You may not exceed your parking or occupancy. You may not violate city's noise or lighting, and may not be an adult-oriented business. No increases in calls for emergency or law enforcement services. So we're not going to limit the type of entertainment or the time of day. We're just going to say you can have entertainment. These are the centers in which you need to comply. When I presented this to the City Council last time, I had proposed a $500 and something fee. I went back with our financial folks, and basically we're going to repeat what the business license fee is. So this, instead of it being a separate license, this will be an additional thing to a business license you can achieve. And same thing, we're going to mirror the renewal fee, which is a drastically reduced fee from what we had proposed previously. So instead of a separate license, it's going to be an addition to an existing business license. So, and the other question the council came up with was, what happens if someone does not comply? There's going to be a transition period for the first year, because since we're relying on business license renewals to get everything started, there's going to be some businesses that are going to start sooner rather than later, because some business licenses are renewed in June and some in October. So we're going to have a bit of a transition period here. But for those who have a license, the first offense we're proposing to be higher than the actual license. We want people in compliance. We don't want to punish people. So our first offense, we're looking at a $250 citation. A second offense would be $500 fine and suspension. And the third offense would be revocation. I want to stress that each of these would be appealable to the City Council and to the Planning Commission in accordance with any other citation. So this is, if someone wants to appeal it, that they can. And once we have this transition period over where everyone has a chance to, thank you, have their license, then we will impose a maximum fine available for those people who have entertainment without a license. We want people to have entertainment. We want people to have to comply with fairly straightforward regulations, and we want people to have a safe time. So with that, that concludes my presentation. We recommend that you do the first reading of the particular ordinance, and that concludes my presentation.
We're going to open it up to the public. Any public comment? Mr. Carlos Blandon.
Hello, Carlos Blandon, resident. Hello, everyone. It's been about a year since I was denied a planning commission seat. The great excuse for gaslighting at the time was supposedly we were going to be really busy and too much projects going to be coming through in. But last time checking on the calendar events from the city planning commissioners and community development, half of the meetings from 2025 have been canceled. And even the commissioner who took my seat, personal, has more excuses over all the cancellation. At the same time, most of these commissioners held their seats for over 8 years. Interesting how the loopholes.
Mr. Blandon, the item is for public hearing, item number 12.
Ancillary uses?
Yes.
Yes, I'm getting to my point at the end.
Thank you.
Yes. Play 9 in the forest, 1902, 100D from our city code. Ordinance like this, they would not, likely they know that I would not spend $5K on my own money to improve language in our ordinance. It's been taking a while to get this ordinance into play. We can have council members or community developer to incorporate this language to change in planning commissioners. But after all those cancellations, they spent the other half on study sessions. How many trainings or holding requirement will require the city to get the work it deserves? The ancillary concept is nothing new. The ancillary concept is nothing new. It requires little from a planner sitting in the ivory tower. Ancillary business can help. I think the ancillary business idea can help new business owners come into play because it doesn't have to pay for overhand and full brick and mortar facility. Is that time going? Okay. But the issue comes down to the responsibility of the business license department, because with this opportunity comes shell corporation of games, where we do not see new business owners come into our city. We see the same owners or people with different LLCs, and that is where our business department needs to verify all the documentations and prevent people from running little schemes, just like people doing long-term rentals in the city. But in the end, we are just here to help our friends and special interests, aren't we? Because we need to make sure these documentations are correct. So.
Thank you. Any other public comment? We're going to close public comment and bring it back up here for discussion.
I'll make a motion that we find the Development Code Amendment exempt from CEQA and conduct the first reading for this ordinance.
Second.
Okay, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of 29 Palms, California, approving Development Code Amendment 25-0003, establishing regulations for ancillary activities, businesses, and entertainment. Councilwoman Ramirez?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Bildering?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott?
Aye.
Approved 401.
At this time, we're going to move to item number 15.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So this item this evening is to enclose, and in fact, we'll see if we can pull up some maps that have of our downtown. Perfect. So within our downtown, there are really 3 areas that our businesses place their trash. The first location is going to be on Smoke Tree, and it is going to be immediately west of the Joshua Tree National Park Visitor Center. There is a partial trash enclosure there currently. There is another trash enclosure that is located on Tamarisk Avenue on the south side of the parking lot, and it is directly in line with Snakebite 29. And then there is a third set of unorganized dumpsters that are located also on Tamarisk Avenue, about 30 feet, 40 feet away from the current trash enclosure that's south of Snakebite. This other trash enclosure is on the west side, and that is going to be south of the nail salon. And so on the 2 trash enclosures, the issue has become they have 3 walls and then they have a gate. But what that is, and then there's a pathway for people to walk in and out. And it's completely open to the top, and the man gate is open. And what we have found is that there are a lot of animals getting into those trash enclosures and pulling trash out. And that is problematic for a number of reasons that I'm sure the council and the audience can appreciate. You have now the potential for rodent infestation. You've got trash that's blowing throughout downtown. That is problematic because we have got a very dedicated and very skilled parks, we have public works, maintenance crew, the parks team, and they are the ones that are responsible for Freedom Plaza. And unfortunately, with the trash that is being pulled out of the 2 trash enclosures and then the third set of dumpsters, that trash is blowing in and around our downtown. One of the other challenges that those really unrestricted trash enclosures create is the fact that when those wild animals ingest the trash, that often can prove fatal. And so what the staff would like to do is they would like the council support to go out and obtain bids, and the bids would be to do 2 things. Number 1 is to fully enclose the 2 existing trash enclosures. That's the one on Smoke Tree and the one on the east side of Tamarisk. And then also get a bid to build from the ground up a fully enclosed trash enclosure on the west side of Tamarisk. And so with that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
When I got this and I read it and we had other issues, our main problem was the vagrants that hang out in there and live in there, scaring some of the people throwing trash away. You know, a lot of the business closed at night to take the trash out, and there's people sitting there with issues. I know there's a report, someone had a weapon one time. Is that true? Yeah. I mean, the pest thing is always gonna be a problem. I mean, the animals getting in the trash, but if those lids are closed, shouldn't be getting out. That's just one problem, but my main concern is the safety of our people taking the trash, because the vagrants are hanging out in there, living in there. I went in one, it looked like they had a house in there. They had pictures and furniture inside there. Yeah. Was that brought up in this staff, or has just all been rodents and animals?
Councilmember Bildering, you bring out a great point, and in fact, someone brought 2 pictures here this evening. One of them is a needle typically used in narcotics, and then also there's really a large amount of trash that has been put there by someone who is unhoused. And so that is what a fully enclosed trash enclosure would accomplish, and that is that fully enclosed trash enclosure, which would include a man gate, that would include, and actually there are photographs of a fully enclosed trash enclosure in the staff report, and that is that there's screening on the sides, there's a roof, and Burtec, of course, would have a key to the lock. The businesses would have keys to the lock, and that would really ensure that place is safe. One of the things that would also accomplish is to help reduce illegal dumping. But then, Councilmember Bilderain, you are correct. Once we got the fully enclosed trash enclosures erected and secured, then you would not be able to use it for illicit activity or criminal activity.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for you, Dr. James. So this picture of the hypodermic needle that was produced, as a nurse that has a background in public health, these types of needles, whether used for insulin or recreational drug use, need to be disposed of a certain way. They have to be in a sharps container, or they have to be in a plastic bottle. The plastic bottle has to be labeled, and then it has to be duct taped, and then it still has to be sent out to biohazard. When that does not happen, Burtec fines the entity that they found that hypodermic needle in. That being said, if that is in the trash can of, it looks like it says here, enclosure behind the Virginian, who is responsible for that trash pickup? Who is responsible for paying the fees associated with that? with that, who's we? Go ahead, ma'am. I don't have a problem. Just make sure you fill out a form. It's up
And
to
come on up
Mayor
there,
Pro Tem
microphone.
Scott.
We're gonna, at this time, we'll open up to public comment.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I provided those photographs. And we've had a problem with it for a while. And it's just bringing a really bad element. And I took a photograph particularly for you to see that there is definitely homeless that are living there. And they are drug users, plain and simple, because I've watched them. I watch them. I do. So we've called the police. I mean, they're busy. You know, what can they do? And there was once, you know, a machete. I mean, I called it in because it was scary, you know? So I'm assuming that west of Tamarask is behind the Virginian, correct? So not Choya, it's west of Tamarask, correct? Okay. So, I mean, I don't know if I mean, I don't really know what you were saying as far as, you know, the hypodermic needle was left there. But
My question was who's when this trash, the needles and all of those things, who's picking up the cost is my question. Is it the Virginian? Is it the city?
Oh, okay. I will definitely answer that question. So we pay for our dumpster, okay, monthly, all right? There have been many times that people have left stuff, illegal dumping, and we picked it up. If you see all of that trash in that one photograph, we paid out of our pockets to get rid of it. No, there was just too much. I mean, I think.
And then
Burtech
Burtech will only, it's my understanding that Burtech will only let you, that the city gets fined if there's things that are in the wrong dumpsters.
No, we lock ours, okay? And we, you know, to no avail, they've even busted into that, and we just keep replacing it. But I think it's a problem like all over, you know, I don't think it's just there.
I think, Councilwoman Ramirez, I think really both the city and the community and the businesses bear the brunt of this abuse.
Correct.
That is occurring within the trash dumpsters, within the dumpster areas, the unrestricted current trash enclosures.
So I have a question. So if we fully enclose our dumpsters, are you gonna fully enclose yours?
I'm sorry?
So I think, sir, what happens
The
is
enclosure is we are within the enclosure.
their trash bin is located within the city's provided trash
got it,
enclosures.
got it.
So
So
that
it's 3 businesses.
when we enclose those trash dumpsters, we are protecting their interests, the community's interests, and the city's interests.
They just go and they just dump whatever they want to dump. There's just no control. You know, I mean, I'm just saying.
And that is especially the issue over on the unrestricted dumpsters, the unorganized dumpsters that are on the west side of Tamarisk, because I want to say that the Virginian is located, they access the trash dumpsters over by Smoke Tree. That is going to be east of the visitor center. That's where that trash enclosure is. And then I want to say that Snakes and Stars and Snakebite, they utilize the trash dumpsters, and the pizza shop, they utilize the trash dumpsters that are on Tamarisk. And then the other businesses like Ground Squirrel, they utilize the
They have their own.
disorganized bins that are located on the west side of Tamarisk.
So it sounds like right now the taxpayers are paying for this, and if we do nothing, then the
Correct.
taxpayers will still continue to pay for this.
And the taxpayers pay for this also by the fact that our public works staff is spending more time cleaning up the downtown, and then it diminishes the visual quality of our downtown. And of course, then, as the conversation that you had with me the other night, the public health aspect of it, the community pays when you've got, food and rodents and all of that stuff that are accessing the food that has been pulled out of the trash dumpsters.
We don't have food at our location, and with us and with Smitty next door and the bamboo garden, they have food. So they've got to, dispose, they've got to have their, their grease stuff or whatever. And we all share it. So it's just, it's not really animals that I see. It's more, well, not the four-legged kind, but.
Thank you for your comment. I just want to make sure we stay on track. We have other public comment. Mr. Carlos Blandon.
Hi, I filled out just to say I approve this subject of enclosing the enclosures. I do see I live in this neighborhood and walk my dogs. If you see me there, you probably see me walking with a crazy hat as my dogs. But yeah, all hours I'll be there, late hours, early hours, dusk, dawn, twilight, you can say. But yeah, it's mostly, people using the advantage of resources that's available near them. And those people, obviously, will not travel far from their own encampment. So as a geographer, you look at spatial distribution, how far will they walk? Usually a mile, 2 miles. But actually, there is a residence that is the core of this issue in that neighborhood. And I think this is the you can see on Google Maps. It's called 6652 Tamarisk Avenue. They are the epiphany of the resource of why that's happening in that area. Just saying. Hopefully you can solve that issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carlos Blandon. Any other public comment? Bring it up here for discussion.
And just for clarity's sake, Mayor Pro Tem, this agenda item is really to introduce the issue, elevate this concern to council, and then ultimately get your support on the staff going out, obtaining those bids, and then ultimately, once we obtained those bids, we could bring the item back for either discussion or just as a consent agenda item with our recommendation once we get the multiple bids, assuming we're able to obtain multiple bids for both the full enclosure of the 2 existing trash enclosures and then the construction of a ground-up, fully enclosed trash enclosure on the west side of Tamarisk. That's what I'm looking for this evening.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we authorize the city staff to obtain bids to enclose the 2 partial trash enclosures within Freedom Plaza development and to obtain bids to construct a fully enclosed trash enclosure within the city-owned parking lot located on the west side of Tamarisk Avenue, south of Ochoa Nails. Echo Nails?
Echo.
Second.
Okay, Echo Nails,
Echo
all right.
Nails, yes, sir.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ramirez?
Aye.
Councilmember Bilderrain?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott?
Aye.
Approved 401.
Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, well, let's see, get my notes back here so we can get back on track. All right, so we're gonna go to number 13, City Council Regional Organizational Assignments. So this City Council review the assignments and regional, are you guys okay with all the assignments that we had last year? Is that? Where are the assignments? Cindy, what'd you do with my paper? There it is. I got it. I'm just messing with Cindy. Okay, the San Bernardino SPTCA I was the representative. Bless you. The alternative was Octavia Scott. The Measure I committee, which is basically works in hand with that one, is myself and Octavius. The Mountain Desert Division League of Cities. Council representative was Octavia Scott, and the alternate was MacArthur. McWright, I'm sorry. Okay. Is that something you want to keep going to? Octavius? The-
I was going to ask if I could be the representative. I've gone to the last 3 meetings, and I feel like I'm making pretty good headway on a regional aspect, representing our community and working with the Desert and Mountain Division on certain projects that we have going before the state.
Yeah, that's for the, it's for the League of Cities, yeah. That's what that one, yeah. So do you want, are you, want
I'm
to go
okay
to the
with that.
alternate? Okay. Or do you want to stay the alternate, Mac? You care? Okay. Okay.
I want to deal with them bears.
Okay. Okay, so Cindy, you're making that note? That's so far, yes. And well, we got to change this. It's based on transit now. Yeah, you got to take out the Morongo. Based in transit is myself and Mac. Yes, and I think Mac's going to be the vice chair this year, if things go. 'Cause I was the chairperson last year. San Bernardino County Solid Waste Task Force was Mac. He loves that job. We'll leave him doing
I
that.
do.
Steve's a yeah.
I do.
The Mojave Air Quality District, that was myself. Steve was the alternate. That one's going to be the same. Okay, then the Economic Development Committee was myself and MacArthur Wright. Personnel was Councilmember Belderrain and myself.
That would change.
That one we
The
got to
mayor and
change
mayor
because
pro
that's
tem
the
do that.
mayor and mayor pro tem. So you're now on the Personnel Committee. Yes, thank you. And you're changing that. Community Development, CDBG, that was Steve and I. Wastewater, I don't know, do we still need that or?
I think it's worth keeping,
Just keeping?
just in case.
Okay, all right, so that was myself and MacArthur. Legislative was Steve and Octavius. Budget and Audit, it was April and Stephen. Planning Commission Subcommittee was Octavius and April. And East Valley Regional Steering Committee was Steve and April. And I guess we have the dog catching. Animal Shelter Committee is myself and MacArthur. I don't know why I said dog catcher. I was just came out of my mouth.
I will
so.
add that to this.
Yeah,
as
add
well.
that to the list. Okay. Oh, I know. Well, I don't want to be a dog catcher. Okay, so we're good with this. These our committee assignments. We good? Oh, housing and homeless. Oh, that's not. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. This was from the year before. So housing and homeless was Octavius and April. So we're good with that. Still going. Oh yeah, this is yeah.
I think throughout the past year of dealing with the housing and homeless, we've done, our subcommittee, we've done a lot of really good work together and individually. But I took some time to really reflect on the fact that I don't think we need the housing and homeless subcommittee, because as I was dealing with individual council members, I realized that all of us in our own different capacities and with our own different strengths do work and focus on housing and homeless. For example, when Mayor Mintz and I went to the California League of Cities, we both attended different housing education sessions. Council member Belderrain, I'm trying to remember the titles, sorry guys.
Mm-hmm.
Council member Belderrain and I have worked before with, the DA, law enforcement, figuring out Prop 36, Grant Pass versus Johnson, the legislative aspect of homelessness. Even though Councilmember Wright will probably be very humble and never tell you, this gentleman and his family does a lot for our in-house community out of their own pocket. Myself, Councilmember Scott also have our own aspects. So it really, to me, feels like we don't need a subcommittee because this is a priority for our whole council. So I'm okay with leaving it off the list.
I'd like to comment, please. I appreciate what you're saying. Obviously, I think we all care about this issue, but one could also make the argument that we all care about most of the subcommittee's issues. And I also think that the subcommittee is there for recommendations, to come together to get recommendations such as the upcoming bidding of the property behind City Council. I do think that needs to have a subcommittee as well as the homeless fund. I think that that also needs to have a subcommittee, and I think the Housing and Homeless Subcommittee is the appropriate body for that.
That homeless, help me with the name. No,
San Bernardino Office of Homeless Services, East Valley Regional Steering.
do we need a committee to be able to go to that?
We just need a representative from our city council.
Okay, then I'm,
Okay.
I think we should at least keep the subcommittee because I think there's some things coming down the pipeline, such as the bidding of the land behind City Hall.
Can we change it to housing committee instead of homeless? Because that homeless is where
Oh, sure.
is where we
Yeah, I think that's
that
where,
Brown Act
yeah,
starts coming. That's where we
got
always
it.
like
That's a good
So
point.
the housing is, let's keep going with the housing, but the homeless part, I think we're all vested in it, and sometimes we got to stop
Yeah.
our conversation because we don't know.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that. That does definitely sounds where we've been spinning around in this one. Okay. Okay, well, that's good. We're done with that then. We don't
So
have
just
vote
to
on that,
clarify
right?
though, just
We don't vote on that.
so traditionally the Housing and Homeless Subcommittee was responsible for that that homeless fund. Are we just to clarify which subcommittee now will take on that? Will it be
Budget and audit, or economic, or East Valley, yeah.
but that's not our committee.
Well,
I
they
mean-
would, it'd be Stephen and April would give us the recommendation, because they're on the East Valley Regional Steering Committee, which is the homeless part. But there's a whole bunch of stuff coming down. SPTCA has starting something with the county. They're gonna have this whole umbrella. They haven't given us all the details yet, but and I just read that the state they're putting in $10 billion into housing and homeless housing and affordable housing as far as helping people get into housing. So there's a whole bunch of stuff coming down the road, but which we wouldn't have anything to do with this because it's their money. So if we just but it doesn't matter. They don't control. No committee controls the money. They just give a recommendation. The rest of the council has to discuss whatever they're discussing. So they still have to give a recommendation, but it doesn't mean we've not gone with recommendations from committees before. So I'm okay with doing one being housing and the other, and the steering committee do the homeless, because right now that's the only one that's got any money from the county even right now. Didn't they allocate the money from the school district, turned down the $90,000? Don't they have to go back and do that?
Yes, sir, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is currently the HAP 3 grant, and that is something that they will likely get an RFP out for. The county will get an RFP out this quarter, and then they also have the HAP 4, and that RFP will go out in the next quarter or two.
Okay. So they're going to that now, so I'm okay with doing it that way. Like I say, I see what you're saying about, I don't want to take the money out of that home. We already allocated that money. I'm not saying take it out, but if it came to a project where one of us put it on a future agenda item and it came back to the council, any one of us could, if they got a second at the council, can bring something back to allocate that money. It wouldn't have to come from the steering committee. It has to be put on a future agenda item, though.
And that's the thing, taking the homeless as a committee, we can have open dialogue. Like if whoever the budget is, we can have a conversation individually and not worry about, oh, I already talked to her about something. You're like, hey, I have this idea of some budgeting for homeless. Like, hey, let's recommend it and put on the agenda.
Yeah, because then two separate people could do it. So, okay, we good?
And traditionally, though, the Budget and Audit Committee, is that not something the Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem serve on? No?
No, it's not traditional.
Say again?
That's why she was on it last year.
Okay, I was just confirming, that's all.
Yeah.
Because I thought in my mind.
Personnel is the one that's automatic. So, okay, so we're good? Everybody's good? All right, Cindy, you got all those notes? Okay, good. All right, moving right along. Okay, number 14, designation of a delegate and alternate delegate to the Southern California Association of Governments, SCAG, Annual Regional Conference and General Assembly. Does anybody want to volunteer for this? April, you went last year, right? I did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting that's coming up. They gave a presentation at SBTCA. This thing with the Olympics going to be in Los Angeles. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. Just telling you. It's gonna
Mayor, we need a delegate and an alternate.
Oh, we need an alternate. I'm sorry, I'm getting off stuff. Stephen, all right, Stephen is volunteering for an alternate.
Got it, thank you.
All right, so that's not a vote, right? That's just a recommendation, okay. And we already did number 15. Okay, we're into future council initiated items.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
So last year, I can say that, last year, for Christmas, the president changed it and gave all federal employees the 24th, 25th, and 26th off. It was actually considered holidays. So normally what would happen is we got Christmas. And so if you wanted to be closed, then you had to take personal leave to get the day after Christmas. But because he changed it to a federal holiday, we all got holiday pay. When I say we, I'm talking about on base because I work for MCCS. So we all got holiday pay. And so with the city employees, they couldn't get it because we're the ones that always determine their holidays.
Right, yeah, because like Columbus Day, it's still a federal holiday, but we don't have Columbus Day.
Right.
So we weren't mandated to do that.
Right, but I think that they deserved it. So I want us to talk about how we can put it in there to where if the president does that, then that they get it too, just like federal employees, without it having to come back to the council.
Okay, so you, as a future agenda item, you want to discuss federal holiday?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll second that so we can. Well, he's talking about federal, like, if he just comes up and says the day after New Year's, then we'd have to discuss. So we need to have a discussion on federal holidays then. So that'd be I'll second it, yes. So we can bring that up.
Thank you.
Okay, any other future agenda items?
Do we have to do, no, we don't have to do a roll call for that, just a second, okay, sorry.
I just got a second, nope.
I would like to have a discussion about reallocating the homeless and housing funds that we have to the grant writing efforts that we're doing, as well as authorize the city manager to identify and pursue grants and execute those contracts. And the rationale behind that is this is actually from the county. It cost $17,684.93 to house one individual for 4 months. That being said, what is our budget that we have in that amount? $25,000. So I feel like those $25,000 we would get a better return on investment if we did that. So I would at least like to have that discussion.
I mean, I can second it if it's more specific to grants for housing or homelessness.
Correct.
I'll second that.
So basically, you want to reallocate the 25,000, then we'll have that discussion.
Correct.
So
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you second it. Okay.
I second it under the condition that that is specific to
Housing and homeless grants. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that would limit the discussion if we disagree if we disagree on, if we don't want to spend it on that particular one, then we can't even discuss using it for something else.
So I think, Councilwoman Ramirez, if I may, correct me if I'm wrong, some of the discussions that you had with me previously was the fact that, we have a limited amount of money currently budgeted to pursue grants. And I think that the point that you had made was the fact that the money that we spend to that professional organization who writes that is the sole purpose of their existence, is to apply for and hopefully obtain grants. I think you saw that as a force multiplier. If we invested some amount of money $25,000, and applying for grants, that could have multiple and multiple returns, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe in a best case.
Millions.
Millions of dollars. And so if your opinion has changed, that's, completely fine. I thought that you were curious or wanting to talk about taking some of those homeless funds and put them into the overall pool that we can use for grants, which would include homeless or things that could address homeless or housing, but would not necessarily be restricted solely to that.
Well, those additional 25,000 can go to anything that is housing and homeless related, whether that is upgrades, whether that is aging in place, whatever that's a conversation that I want to have at a later time.
Okay.
As a future agenda item, but we will keep it to the same thing. And then that way, whatever funds we do have already towards grant writing can go to any other grants that the council may want to pursue.
Nope, no problem. Yeah.
All right, so basically you want a future agenda item to only specifically talk about using that for homeless and housing grants or grant writing, whatever you. Is that correct?
Reallocated to grant writing specific to pursuing
those
grants
two.
that are for housing and homelessness.
Okay.
Because we also have another 25,000 in that pool for grant writing too. That's why.
Correct, but those 25,000 really don't get us that much, Councilman Scott, or Mayor Pro Tem Scott, sorry. Depending on the amount, if you look at the contract, depending on the amount of the grant that we're going. So if we're going after, and this is, again, not what the contract says, but just for example, if we're going after a grant that's worth $3.6 million.
We have to be careful how far we can discuss this. We're getting over the line.
Oh, I'm talking about the contract that we've already signed.
Yeah, but that's not an agenda. We're talking, this is a future agenda item.
Okay.
So
We can
so
talk later offline. Thank you.
Yes.
How about this? How about, given the fact that this is an opportunity for robust discussion generally around grants, could we have maybe a motion to talk about the funding of the pursuit of grants that would include things such as housing and homeless, and then we can have really kind of a thorough discussion at a future agenda?
Well,
I think that's
is that reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what, okay. The reason I said it the way it was sounding like, if you wanted to reallocate the money, it could only be used, we could only talk about the one thing.
No.
If you want to talk about both or all of it, then you have to be a little more open about it.
So I think it's two separate things. One is asking for a reallocation, which I think has already been second. And then the second one is just to talk about grants.
Correct. So for purposes of keeping this simple, we could just have, if the council is so pleases, we could have a future agenda item to discuss the use of city funds for grants and the potential reallocation of housing and homeless money to grants, and then ultimately the uses within grants. And if we left it at that, then the council could.
Yeah, we could discuss the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea, because I just want to make sure.
Because this is just really
Yeah.
simple. This is just a broad, hey, let's talk about money and grants and where we can get additional money for grant pursuit. And then I take that, I create an agenda item, and then the council can talk about that to your heart's content.
Sure.
Are you okay with that? Is that what you're trying to get at? We can talk about this openly?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get it so we don't have to.
In
I don't
less
have
words,
to,
yes.
so I don't have to cut you off because we're starting to talk about it too much.
Okay.
Okay. So any other future agenda items? Okay. All right. Gotta have my glasses for this.
Very good. And then also, Mayor, I can, you know what, I'll wait for city manager update.
Oh, it's that time?
Okay, we're going to go to public comments. This is the time for the public to address the city council on issues within the jurisdiction of the city council that are not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the city council and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There's a time limit of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out your name and address slips and give it to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by law, state law, from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration item on the agenda. All right, first one up is Leanne Clark.
Thank you, Mayor Mintz. On behalf of the 29 Palms Ministerial Association and 29 Palms Bible Baptist Church, the community is invited to participate in the annual Martin Luther King March and Prayer Bowl. The theme this year is Mission Possible 2, Building Community, Uniting a Nation, the Nonviolent Way. That's going to be held on Monday, January 19. There will be two opportunities to participate. There will be a march at 8 a.m., starting at Little Church of the Desert parking lot. Those that would like to participate plan to wear good walking shoes and dress accordingly for the weather. Bring a bottle of water, and you will be walking from Little Church of the Desert to Palms Baptist Church. And once you arrive at Palms Baptist Church, the prayer bowl will be held in the sanctuary. And speakers this year are Pastor Amy Miranda, City Manager Stone James, Pastor MacArthur Wright, Bishop Perry Ford, and Pastor David Squires. A city proclamation will be presented by Mayor Menz. Worship will be provided by the Sanctuary Church Praise and Expressive Dance teams, and solo by First Lady Shirley Arrington. Also, I believe the City of 29 Palms, again, is furnishing funds for sack lunches to be able to be provided for all attendees. And so, again, all are welcome to attend. And then also, we would like to invite everyone. We just met this morning for our Ministerial Association meeting. We will be hosting our first 2026 Mayor's Prayer Breakfast Tuesday, February 24th, 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. It'll be a continental-style breakfast at the Youth Activity Center at First Assembly of God Church on Hatch Road, and our keynote speaker will be Mayor Dan Menz. And again, on behalf of the Ministerial Association, we'd like to wish you all a Happy New Year, and we're looking forward to working with our new council this year, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Well, that was the only slip I had. Anybody else from the audience? You did? Oh, yeah, but there's on 12 and 15. Oh, no, I can change it. Oh, request of public comment. There it is. Okay. I just saw 12 and 15. So, yes, come on up. Sorry, Carlos.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I start, this call is a hook, and then you lead to your topic assignments to your thesis. That's kind of, you lead to in a paragraph. Sometimes you have to look around and see who is not being criticized or not allowed to be criticized. Society will issue a backlash that makes you persona non grata. If my pockets were lined with money, I probably would have the respect that I deserve because I have the looks and intelligence. Sadly, I don't have the wealth to hold the Holy Trinity because then I'll be an unstoppable force. The common notion that rich people are necessarily smart is a common misconception, often called argumentum de ad crumentum, basically the purse fallacy. Research suggests that intelligence contribute to income potential. It's really wrong. It's between IQ and overall wealth is weak, influenced by a myriad of other factors, including luck, socioeconomic backgrounds, and personality traits. Just recently, we got to another great article from Forbes that highlights the best of our cities. But our friends at Reset Hotel, Adam Rininger and Ben, our Tibet leaders, said they acquired 180 acres of commercial property. Well, that's a lie. The majority of the lands are zoned residential if you look at your city map right now, before they change it, hopefully. They are building a trail that leads to the monuments of their ego, like the moon pad, converting these areas into commercial tourism attractions on residential land. The question is, why is it that their friends of Reset get, when they get development in their areas near their homes, they cite city codes and state regs housings, but these folks don't pay mitigation fees or rezone the area. They annex a road between their commercial and residential area because they want the view. So what incentives do they have to build any homes on these residential lands if they're allowed to do whatever they want? They are really going to develop it, block their views on their rooms? How are we going to meet the state housing requirements if these folks are just squatting on land with no primary purpose or intent to build? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none. Okay. City Manager update.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor. A couple of items this evening. One, Ms. Clark did a great job of talking about the Martin Luther King Walk that begins this Monday at 8 a.m. over at the Little Church of the Desert. Looking forward to participating in that. Also wanted to provide the council an update on the package treatment plant that was within our downtown. And that ultimately, the installation of that package treatment plant is moving along. And the city staff will be coming forward with a fog program. FOG is fats, oils, and grease, and that relates to the fats, oils, and grease that typically are captured in grease interceptors from the food service establishments that are connected to that sewer line that goes to the package treatment plant. So that's going to be something that's going to be coming up. That is going to be a very important development for our downtown for many reasons, one of which is the long-term preservation of our water supply. Another thing that is pretty exciting, the shelter gates in the animal shelter city council had approved the allocation of some funds to the purchase of some great new gates. The current gates were actually built by Craig Stacy 20 years ago. They have done an excellent job. Those gates have endured an awful lot of use over the years. They are weathered. It was long past the time that they were replaced. The staff did some analysis and identified stainless steel gates would cost about $3,800 to $4,000 per gate. There was an alternative gate that was constructed out of a very high strength, long lasting plastic that cost about $600 a gate. And so those new gates have been fully installed on the Adopt side of the facility. There are some other improvements that are going on that they are not long-term fixes, but they're very important short-term fixes to make that facility a more attractive place for our animals, for our four-legged residents, and also for the folks who are coming to look to adopt pets. So some exciting things there. The improvements are not done. They're still in process, but so far the progress, in fact, got a picture a couple hours ago. All of the gates, they look fantastic, very easy to use, very durable. Community survey, this is something that residents are beginning to get on their cell phones, and that is a community survey as it relates to the analysis of a potential sales tax coming for later this year. And so I definitely encourage the folks to take that survey, put some time and thought into that, because that is important on many levels for the city. Bridge, we've got a great update on the Split Rock Bridge. This was something I think Mayor and the council started working on 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And so congratulations to the council and congratulations to the community. There is going to be a construction kickoff meeting starting tomorrow. And so that's pretty exciting. That has been an awful long time in coming. And so the pre-construction meeting, they call it, starts tomorrow. And the actual bridge construction is supposed to start on January 20th. And the construction on the bridge itself should take 1 year. And so that is obviously going to limit traffic going over the Split Rock Bridge, but that is going to be just an invaluable addition to our community. So great news on that. Speaking of bridges, during the August 25th flood, there was some damage that was done to the land north and south of the bridge that's located on Highway 62, just west of Stater Brothers. Anyone who's driven on Highway 62 sees how it goes down to one lane in either direction. I got some great news from our Public Works Department this week, and that is the plans have come out of Caltrans. Those plans are in the hands of San Bernardino County Flood Control. San Bernardino County Flood is reviewing those plans, and then ultimately the contractors working to obtain the necessary permits so they can begin the reconstruction that's necessary in order to shore up the damage that last storm did. And then in terms of future agenda items, staff is working on addressing some of these future agenda items. Our goal is to have a presentation on maintained roads that is targeted for January 27th. That is going to be an important discussion, and it's so important we don't want to rush that. That was supposed to be here this evening, but we felt that we needed a little bit more time to perfect that. Also, we are working on getting some quotes for shade structures around Freedom Plaza, and this is something that we are hopefully going to bring before council. Really, it's going to be a function of as soon as we get those different quotes and the different layouts that these subject matter experts come up with, we can take that to council and get your thoughts. Is this something that you like, you want more, you want less? So we're looking forward to that. And then also we are working on neighborhood the Recognize the Neighborhood program. Hopefully within the next, council meeting or two, we will have something just as a preliminary discussion for the city council. And so with that, Happy New Year, and that is all that I have.
All right, thank you very much. I'd like to adjourn this meeting in memory of longtime resident of Twentynine Palms, Pat Welch.